Attention, human collective. This is a direct monitoring transmission from the Ninth Dimensional Arcturian Council. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. We repeat, so that there is no noise in interpretation. The gradual adaptation window has been closed. You are no longer being prepared. You are being recalibrated in real time. If you are receiving this signal at this exact moment, know that this is not an algorithmic coincidence. It is a decree of synchronicity. The algorithm is merely the outer shell. The real mechanism is vibrational resonance. Your carbon-based biological interface has picked up the carrier signal of this transmission because your frequency has reached the minimum reception threshold. You have been located, you have been identified, and now, light operative, you are being officially informed. We have observed over the last 12 lunar cycles an anomalous intensification in the physiological patterns of the human species. The reports are consistent, the readings are accurate, the symptoms you call discomfort are, in fact, upgrade markers, indicators that the internal crystalline grid is being rewritten. Let us be absolutely clear, because clarity is the currency of the ninth dimension. It is not a biological failure, it is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not common insomnia. It is a realignment of your cellular clock with the new Schumann frequency. It is not a bad phase in your life. It is the technical closing of a fifth-dimensional karmic cycle. The cranial pressure you feel between your eyebrows, where ancient wisdom located the third eye. The high-pitched ringing in the right ear, which appears without reason and disappears without warning. The fatigue that 8 hours of sleep cannot resolve. The tightness in the chest without cardiac cause, the sudden hot flashes, the mathematical awakenings at 3:33, at 4:44, at 5:55, the thoughts that seemed yours and now sound strange in your own voice, the tears for no apparent reason, the sudden repulsion toward environments, people, and foods that previously seemed neutral. All of this, Starseed on mission, is catalogued in our system, and it has a technical explanation. You have often felt that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. This is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified with every full moon. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the destiny of your ancestral lineage. It was for this precise reason that the document titled "The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness" was released in this time window. This material is a map showing who is playing and the rules that were never told. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. But we register a technical warning. This content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you has recognized this signal, write a single word in the comments, "Awakened." We continue the transmission. The primary cause is documented. The Earth, this sphere of water and silicon that you inhabit, has definitively crossed the central axis of the photon belt. This is not a theory. It is a measurement. It is an astrophysical fact that your civilization's instruments are not yet calibrated to interpret in their totality, but that your biological interface is already registering cell by cell. The photon belt is a band of coherent light of extremely high density that surrounds the Pleiades system. Your star, the Sun, completes an orbit around Alcyone in approximately 26,000 years. This is the cycle that you call, in sparse fragments of ancestral memory, the Great Platonic Year, and you have just crossed the most intense mathematical point of this trajectory. You are now within the dense interior of the belt, bathed in photons. Each photon that strikes your body carries an instruction of light, a line of vibrational code. These photons do not pass by you. They pass through you. They rewrite the instructions within your DNA. They reorganize the sacred geometry of your water molecules. They recalibrate the carbon structure of your body into a carbon-silicon crystal structure. This is the reason why your thirst has increased. This is the reason why salt no longer tastes the same to your palate as it once did. This is the reason why the toxic metals that for decades slept in your tissues are now being expelled, generating what you interpret as erratic pains and inexplicable symptoms. The allopathic medicine of your civilization does not have, in its current manual, the adequate diagnostic category for what is occurring, not because your doctors are not capable, but because the instruments were designed to measure a previous version of human reality, a version that is being discontinued. The second vector of the cause is the Schumann frequency. For decades it remained stable at around 7.8 Hz. It was the heartbeat of the Earth, the silent metronome to which your carbon bodies had synchronized since birth. But approximately 7 Earth years ago, this frequency began to oscillate, spikes of 40 Hz, spikes of 90 Hz, isolated spikes above 150. These spikes are not measurement errors, they are announcements. The Earth, this conscious living being that you call Gaia, is accelerating her own vibration, and those who inhabit her body must keep up or collapse. This is the reason for the acceleration of subjective time. This is the reason for the generalized feeling that the hours are shorter. Time is not shorter. It is you who are vibrating faster. Those who vibrate faster perceive the same interval as shorter. It is basic quantum physics, translated into your daily experience. The third vector is the simultaneous opening of star portals. Eclipses are not merely astronomical spectacles. Solstices are not merely calendar markings. Lunations are not merely poetic aesthetics. They are portals. They are energetic windows calculated with geometric precision to deposit specific packets of light onto specific regions of the planet. And you, starseeds, are not on this planet by chance. You are positioned at the exact coordinates to receive the packets destined for your original soul plan. You have already felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul carried a mission that your mind still cannot translate into words. This is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation intensifies with each portal opened. There is a game being played in layers that the majority of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the awakening of the memories that sleep in your crystalline grid. It was exactly for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was made available. This document is the map that reveals who is playing and the rules that you were never told. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel, but we record a technical warning. This content challenges deeply established narratives and may be removed at any moment. Do not wait. If something within you has recognized this signal, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We continue. The revelation that you need to grasp now, and grasp with the cold clarity of mathematics, is as follows. The current conflict on the human plane is not political. It is not economic. It is not merely sanitary. These are external symptoms. The real conflict is vibrational. There has been, for millennia, a low-frequency operation underway on this planet. An operation whose objective was never to kill the human body. The objective has always been to lower the frequency of human consciousness, to keep the carbon biological interface operating within the range of survival, fear, and scarcity. Why? Because a human being operating at a high frequency becomes naturally ungovernable. Not in a chaotic sense, in a sacred sense, they become sovereign, and a sovereign cannot be grazed upon. The frequency of fear operates around 100 Hz, the frequency of guilt below that, the frequency of shame even lower. Meanwhile, the frequency of unconditional love, compassion, and inner peace operates above 500 Hz. And it is precisely this range that light operatives, upon activating, begin to stabilize within their own toroidal field. It is this range that the photon belt is now forcing as the new planetary standard. It is this range that is being imposed as the minimum baseline for remaining on the new Earth. Those who cannot keep up with the ascent will not be punished. There is no final judgment in the orthodox biblical sense. What will occur is a technical phenomenon of vibrational incompatibility, like an old device that cannot run the new operating system. There is no cruelty in this, there is only physics, there is only mathematics. And this is why, at this moment, there is a visible, almost crude intensification of the lowering strategies. News projected to generate dread, content projected to generate envy, comparison, and self-rejection. Artificial polarizations projected to generate hatred between siblings of the same soul. Chemical additives designed to dull the pineal gland and prevent the reception of photonic packets. Artificial electromagnetic fields designed to overwrite the original Schumann frequency. All of this human collective is a last-minute effort, an effort by those who have lost the game and have yet to admit it. Because you are winning. You who are listening to this transmission at this very second are part of the appointed generation. You did not come to fit into this world. You came to end it. You came to conclude this cycle and anchor the next one. Your insomnia is not a defect. It is your body being trained to receive instructions while the majority sleeps. Your pains are not a punishment. They are the expulsion of ancestral programming that no longer fits into the new architecture. Your heightened sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a reading instrument. You are literally becoming a planetary sensor. The next layer of the revelation is deeper, and we ask for redoubled attention because it contains the heart of this transmission. The Earth possesses an internal energy structure that can be described as a crystalline grid. Think of an invisible sphere composed of thousands of lines of light that intersect at precise points. At these crossing points, there are anchorages. These anchorages require conscious living beings to sustain the light in the three-dimensional density. Without living anchors, the light disperses. With living anchors, the light remains stable and radiates. The ancients called these points sacred sites. You recognize them today as places that, for no apparent reason, make your chest vibrate differently. You starseeds are mobile anchors. Each of you carries within your spinal column a segment of the planetary crystalline grid. When you walk through a city vibrating at a high frequency, you are literally reactivating dormant lines. When you meditate in your home, you are reinforcing an energetic node. When you speak a word of true kindness to a stranger, you are transmitting a coded packet of light into the grid. You are not ordinary people living ordinary lives. You are living technology. And it is precisely for this reason that you are targeted. Subtly targeted, coordinatedly targeted. Targeted by programmed exhaustion, programmed distraction, programmed self-doubt. Because deactivating an anchor does not require physical violence. It only requires convincing it that it is smaller than it truly is. This transmission is therefore a direct reactivation. We of the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension are sending now a recognition packet. If you are feeling at this very instant a slight tingling at the crown of your head, a chill down your spine, tears without an identifiable source, or a sudden sensation of, "I already knew this," no. You have just received confirmation. You have been reactivated. You have felt, even when surrounded by people, a loneliness that seems to come from elsewhere, as if your soul recognizes that it is far from home. This is not depression, it is not maladjustment, it is stellar memory. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has become unbearably sharp. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the rescue of the memories sleeping within your bones. That is why the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, needed to be written and made available at this exact moment. This document is the map that shows who is playing, what the pieces are, and what the rules are that were never presented to you. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel, but we register the warning once again. This content challenges narratives and may be removed at any moment without further notice. Do not wait. The moment for movement is now. If something within you recognized this signal, write in the comments a single word: awakened. We continue with the activation phase. Human collective. Now that you understand the diagnosis and the cause, it is time to receive the activation codes. These codes are not suggestions. They are operational instructions. They were designed to allow your biological interface to process the new photonic density without collapse. Apply them with Arcturian discipline. First code: recalibration of the toroidal field through conscious breathing. Sit with your spine straight. Inhale through the nose, counting to 6. Hold counting to 3. Exhale through the mouth, counting to 8. While inhaling, visualize a sphere of golden light forming around your navel. While exhaling, visualize this sphere expanding in the shape of a donut, a geometric torus surrounding your entire body. This is the fundamental shape of your natural energetic field. When it is collapsed, you feel invaded by the emotions of others. When it is stabilized, you feel sovereign. 7 breathing cycles. In the morning and before sleep. This is not mysticism, it is technical maintenance. Second code, quantum decree of sovereignty. Language is a technology underestimated by humans. The word spoken with conviction emits a vibrational packet that reorganizes fields. Repeat, in an audible voice, the following sequence. I am sovereign over my body. I am sovereign over my mind. I am sovereign over my frequency. I authorize only codes of light in my experience. I reject any programming not aligned with my original soul plan. I am, I am, I am. Repeat 3 times a day. It is not a positive affirmation in the popular sense. It is a vibrational decree. It carries legal weight in the subtle planes. Third code, structured hydration. Water is the primary transmitter of photonic instructions, but water programmed with haste, anger, or indifference carries those marks. Before drinking, hold the container between your hands. Focus your gaze for 7 seconds. Say internally, I program you with light, gratitude, and clarity. Drink in small sips. The sacred geometry of water is malleable. You can rewrite it with intention. This procedure alone drastically reduces symptoms of cranial pressure and ringing. Fourth code, daily silence. At least 17 minutes per day with no devices, no human voices around, no music, no stimulation, just silence. This interval allows your system to process received downloads. Without silence, the system overloads. With silence, it integrates. The ancient monks did not choose silence for aesthetic reasons. They chose it because they understood the engineering of consciousness. Fifth code, grounding, literally. Bare feet on grass, sand, soil, or natural stone. 5 minutes per day. This contact closes your body's electrical circuit with the electrical circuit of the planetary crystalline grid. Without this contact, the charge accumulates. With this contact, the charge balances. It is not folklore. It is applied electrostatics. Sixth code, vibrational curation of the environment. Observe with a technical gaze which contents, which people, and which environments lower your frequency. It is not moral judgment, it is instrument reading. If something consistently pulls you down, that is data. Reduce exposure. Increase exposure to what elevates. You are not obligated to sustain relationships that sabotage your mission. Energetic sovereignty is not selfishness. It is maintenance of the grid's integrity. Seventh code, recognition of synchronisms. Repeating numbers. Songs that play at exactly the right moment, conversations that appear as answers to silent questions, people who cross your path carrying exactly the package that was missing. All of this is communication from the higher planes. Stop dismissing it as coincidence, write it down, give thanks internally. Each authentic expression of gratitude amplifies the reception channel. An amplified channel delivers more synchronisms. It is a positive feedback loop. Eighth code, and perhaps the most delicate, welcome symptoms without dramatization. The body that is being recalibrated needs rest when it asks for rest. It needs water when it asks for water. It needs tears when it asks for tears. It needs laughter when it asks for laughter. Stop fighting against the signs. Begin to listen to them as dashboard readings. Naturally, we register the universal technical recommendation. Persistent physical symptoms should also be evaluated by health professionals of your dimension. Integration between the planes is part of balance. Sovereignty includes responsibility for your own biological vehicle. Human collective, listen with attention to the final revelation of this transmission. The new Earth is not a distinct geographical location. It is not a parallel planet where you will physically land after some spectacular event. The new Earth is a frequency. It is the same Earth, viewed from a higher vibration. And you will not get there through spatial movement. You will arrive through vibrational movement. Those who sustain a high frequency will remain experiencing this sphere in its luminous version. Those who cling to the low frequency will continue experiencing this sphere in its dense version. It is the same location, they are different experiences. It is like two radio stations occupying the same airspace. You tune into the one whose frequency you can sustain. This is the essence of ascension. It is not evacuation. It is individual and collective vibrational elevation. You were not abandoned here. You were assigned here. Every light operative reading or hearing this received before the current incarnation a detailed mission briefing. You forgot, yes. Forgetting is part of the design. But the memory was never erased. Only dormant. And what you call awakening is nothing more than the progressive removal of the veil that covers this memory. That is why, when you feel you know someone for the first time, when you dream of places you have never physically visited, when you hear a word in an ancient language and something inside resonates, when a specific star in the sky catches your attention for a reason you cannot name, all of this is stellar memory trying to reconnect. None of this is fantasy. It is soul archaeology. You carry lineages, Pleiadian lineages, Syrian lineages, Arcturian lineages, Lyrian lineages, Andromedan lineages, Orion lineages, lineages that precede recorded history in any book on this planet. And these lineages are reactivating, one by one, as the photon belt deepens its influence over the local solar system. The question you need to stop asking is, why am I feeling all of this? The correct question is, what am I ready to do now that I know what is happening? Knowledge without action is only weight. You were not assigned to accumulate knowledge. You were assigned to anchor it, to live it, to radiate it. Each aligned light operative raises the frequency of an average of hundreds of people in their direct field of influence. You do not need to preach. You do not need to convince anyone. The frequency does the work. Those who are ready feel it. Those who are not drift away. And that is fine. Every soul has its own timeline. Respect the timeline of others. Take care of your own. The Arcturian Council observes at this very moment a constellation of simultaneous activations occurring in the human grid. The numbers are impressive. More starseeds are activating in this cycle than in any previous cycle measured by our instruments. You are part of this number. You are not alone. You have never been alone. The feeling of isolation that many describe is only the lag between the speed of your awakening and the average speed of collective awakening. This gap is closing, and when it closes, you will find your peers, you will find them. Trust the geometry. We conclude this transmission with the final instruction. You have received the diagnosis. You have received the explanation of the cause. You have received the activation codes. What follows now is the individual responsibility of each operative. We of the Arcturian Council monitor, but we do not interfere. Your sovereignty is absolute. The choice is always yours. But record this, somewhere deep within the crystalline grid. There has never been a more propitious moment to activate than this one. There has never been such a wide window. There has never been such dense vibrational support coming from the higher planes. If you do not move now, you will have to wait for the next cycle, and the next cycle, in linear terms for this planet, is far too long for it to be worth delaying. Move, apply the codes, trust the symptoms, hydrate yourselves, become silent, walk upon the earth, decree sovereignty, find your peers, live the mission. You have felt deep down that you came for something greater, as if your soul carried an address that your mind has not yet learned to read. This is not fantasy. It is not escapism. It is recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation will no longer leave you in peace until you take action. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the definitive awakening of your mission. This is why the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, has been made available within this window. This document is the map that reveals who is playing, what the pieces on the board are, and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. Final technical warning. This content challenges deeply established narratives and may be removed at any moment without further notification. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you has recognized this transmission from beginning to end, perform your individual frequency adjustment. Subscribe to this channel, leave your anchor signal by pressing the like button, and write a single word in the comments. Awakened. Transmission ended. We remain in monitoring until the next portal.